The real question is, who wants to be a millionaire? Short answer, probably everybody, right? They might have different reasons for it. They might want to be a millionaire because they want to be rich, they want to be wealthy, or they just want the freedom. Who fucking knows? But the real question is, can you become a millionaire within a year? Well, I guess that is going to depend on the type of vehicle that you decide to invest in. Or if you are a high income earner, if you can find a job that makes you $1 million in a year, great, right? But we're going to be talking about the investment vehicles that are out there right now and to see if we can figure out a way to become a millionaire in 1 year, 12 months, 365 days. So when we're looking at all the investment vehicles that are out there, you got real estate. This is primarily a real estate podcast. So you got businesses, you can invest in businesses. And with that being said, you can invest in stocks, which are public businesses. So if we look at stocks, in order to be a millionaire with stocks, you probably have to have a good chunk of money saved up already in order to reap the appreciation of those companies. And they probably are going to have to jump up a considerable amount. So if you had, let's say, $500,000 liquid and you invest in a company and in 1 year it jumped up 100%, making you another $500,000, there you go. There's your million in 1 year. But not a lot of people have 500 grand just cash sitting there, right? Another aspect, you could trade. You might need a good chunk of money to start trading, and you probably could generate a significant return with trading. I have no idea. I'm not a trader, but I do know these traders are looking at the screens probably 8 hours a day, right? Whether it be in traditional assets, penny stocks, or crypto, whatever. I think it's possible. It just depends on what your track record is and how much you can realistically make per day or per month or per year. And alternatively, we have real estate, right? And there are multiple ways within real estate to generate some type of income. So, back in the day when I was in residential real estate, there were a multitude of ways to invest in real estate. You can wholesale, you can flip, you can do the BRRRR method, you could hold on to your assets. So, if you were a flipper, let's say you average $50,000 in profit per flip, you're probably going to have to do 20 flips a year in order to get to that $1 million mark. And we're not going to talk about taxes, taking that out of the picture. Now, if you wholesale, same story. If you wholesale each and every deal for, let's say, $25,000, you're going to have to find 40 deals in a year in order to get to that $1 million mark of income. Now, if you were a holder, that kind of looks like that's going to depend on what your equity is in the property and how much cash flow you're making from that property and appreciation, right? If your equity within a deal is appreciating year over year, you potentially could get to that $1 million mark within a year. So, I don't know what that number looks like, but if you had, let's say, $100,000 in equity in one deal, it appreciated 100%. Now you made 100 grand off that 100 grand. Your net worth is at 200. You kind of have to reverse engineer it if your goal is to be a millionaire in 1 year. Now, let's shift things to the commercial side. So if you decide to wholesale in commercial, you could generally make a higher margin when you're wholesaling commercial deals. You could flip commercial deals. And once again, those margins are going to be higher. So one deal, when you flip it, you could make 250 grand to $1 million. Just depends on what you do with the property, right? Now, if you are a syndicator, you generate income from syndications by fees, right? Similar to how these large private equity firms or firms in general or hedge funds are charging their clients or their investors. So one way to make money is the fees. Secondarily, you gain from the profits of the property as well as the force appreciation that you're putting into the properties. Now, I'm going at it from a value add investor, so keep that in mind. So when you add value to a property, the NOI, let's say it's at 200 grand, and let's say you jumped it up to 300 or 400 grand. It will trade at whatever cap rate is in the market. So that appreciation itself could get you to $1 million. But that's also saying that you are the sole operator of the property. If you have the cash to buy commercial property yourself, fantastic. However, in a lot of syndications, it primarily boils down to you being the operator, and then you have a lot of other investors who are the limited partners within the deal, so they get a cut of the deal. So it's going to depend on your structure for the deal itself. And once again, you have to kind of reverse engineer it. If you found four commercial properties within a year, and let's say your percentage ownership averages out to 20%, right? And everything appreciated, or you've added enough value to the point where your cut is equal to $1 million, your net worth is increased by $1 million within a year. So the short answer for you guys is that the answer is yes. I am super optimistic. I believe that anything can be done, and you just have to put the work in order to get it done. And that's all I have for you guys. We'll see you again next week.